All right, what is going on, people? This is Wakeman, owner of Great Lakes Draft League, um, avid draft addict, and I am here with some incredibly exciting news. Um, as many of you may know, I've been running the Great Lakes Draft League for about 5 years now, and I have been feeling like we need a new direction for the league. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I am very happy with the community that we've established, and the competition level is always great. And I love VGC draft, as many of you guys know. But I wanted to kind of let everybody in on something that the mod team and I in GLDL have been discussing for about a month now. And while things are not ready to start up immediately, I want to make everybody aware of what's going on here and just share the news because I'm very excited about all this. So we're introducing, drumroll please, the Great Lakes Draft Circuit. We do have a new logo on the way. Thank you, Thunderball, for that. But the Great Lakes Draft Circuit, this is a new direction for GLDL. We're going to be completely rebranding to GLDC. We're going to be having a new logo, new name. Obviously, the league is going to continue existing, but under some pretty big changes, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys about them here. So what we're looking at here is a circuit of 6 seasons. They're going to be spread out over the course of about a year and a half. We're looking at starting the first one, the Erie season, in September of this year, and then the culminating championship season will happen in spring of 2028. So looking at about a year and a half here for the circuit. What we're doing here is each season they're going to run more or less back to back. There'll be a couple weeks between to, give people a break and all that. But what we're looking at here is a system somewhat similar to what Pokemon VGC Worlds does currently. And that is you're going to play in these 5 seasons leading up to a championship season where you will qualify or not based on the points that you acquire from your performances in the first 5 legs of the circuit. So we're going to be rotating through formats because I want to not only keep some variety just for variety's sake, but also because I know people have certain formats that they prefer or don't prefer, and so I want to be able to present a diverse offering here. So the first season, the Erie season, is going to be there's going to be a main and a side format for each. The main formats are going to be 9 weeks with the playoffs, and then the side formats are going to be 7 weeks with the playoffs. The playoffs will line up together, and so as you see here, September 13th happens to be my birthday, believe it or not. Crazy, I know, right? Will be a Champions season. This will be the main format for the first season. It'll be in Reg MC because we know that's dropping about a week and a half before this date. And then we are running a side format which will start 2 weeks after the main format, and that's going to be Sword and Shield, no Dynamax. So it'll be no Restricteds, no Mythicals, just regular VGC, no Dynamax. And so that is going to take us almost to the end of 2026. And then in 2027, we'll be starting the Ontario season, which is going to be Scarlet Violet Regulation F. And then the side format is going to be double restricted and mythicals in Sword and Shield. This will be with Dynamax, so very high power level. And that's going to take us up to the beginning of April. Then in late April of 27, we're going to have the Huron season, which is going to be back to champions. We're going to be alternating champions as the main event each season. So 1, 3, and 5, Erie, Huron, Superior, all going to be main format of champions because that is the most current, the current game we're playing. And so then the side format is going to be Scarlet Violet Little Cup. That will be Open Terra. So look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know we have a lot of Little Cup fans in the community, so I'm sure that the competition there is going to be fierce as always in GLDL. Then the 4th season, we have the Michigan season. It's going to be Sword and Shield, no restricteds, no mythicals. No way. Oh, this is brutal. They have ads on this. I'm not to be frank, I'm not gonna edit this, so you guys get to hear that. So that being said, the Michigan season, Sword and Shield Dynamax, no restricteds, no mythicals, just kind of standard VGC with Dynamax, and then Scarlet Violet low tier, and so that's gonna take us almost to the end of 2027, and then taking us across the new year is going to be the Superior season, which is going to be, again, champions. And these champions formats will be whatever the most recent regulation is. So if by December 2027, I'm sure that we'll be on maybe another gimmick or something like that. And so keep in mind, it'll be whatever is the most recent is what we're going to play on. And then we have the championship season. I will talk more about this later. And this is going to start in March, end in June of 2028. And that will mark the end of the first Great Lakes draft circuit. The qualification process for this is going to be explained later. It will be on the most current format or regulation of champions. So now we have kind of the point structure here, what we're looking at. So this is how you're going to qualify for the final season. The circuit culminates in a 16-man league in the most recent champions regulation. So as you can see here, based on how many signups we get for any given format, the more people are playing, the more points are going to be up for grabs for making playoffs. Essentially, if you make playoffs, you will get points. As you can see here, we have the different cutoffs for where playoffs are going to be based on size of the leagues. Obviously, we're going to generally keep it to even numbers. Multiples of 4 and 8 are friendly for draft leagues, and so if you'll note here, I have 2 point limits or point numbers on each cell, and what that is the left one is the main event points, and the right is the side event points. So the side formats do earn you fewer points than the main, and as you can see here, you do auto qualify if you win a main event. So there are 5 spots up for grabs that way, and if, let's say, Hunter wins the first one and the second one, nobody will auto qualify, which will open up another open spot for points to qualify you. And then as you can see on the right here, we have 2 admin choice spots, and this is essentially going to be the admins are going to kind of discuss, who among the people that are not qualified are worthy of entering based on performances. So the reason we have this here is just so that, let's say Panda comes back and he only hears about this for the last 2 seasons, and he wins the last 2, and he gets second in the last 2, let's say. But he doesn't have enough points to make the cut because he only even heard about it late. So this is just kind of a preventative measure. There's a very good chance we just give it to the next 2 point earners. But this is just a way to avoid potential problems like that. And just to be clear, the admins are not going to be eligible for these spots. So admins will decide these spots, but none of us will be eligible to receive the spots. So then how to qualify, I think I already kind of touched on this, but there's 5 auto qualifier spots, and then the 2 selected by admin team, and then the rest will be earning points through making playoffs. So essentially, if there's 16 spots available, which there are, the first 5 are going to be determined by the main format league winners. Again, there could be fewer than 5 if someone wins multiple, but there are 5 set aside for those. And then we have 2 for the admin selection, which leaves 9 up for grabs for points. So essentially, there's 9 points. If you never win a league, you are still very much capable of qualifying. If you are consistently making playoffs and playing in a lot of the leagues, you'll earn a lot of points and you can qualify that way, no problem. But we do have some points incentives, because I don't want someone to just win their first main format and then decide, I don't feel like playing for the rest of the season. You could do that. There would still be a spot for you in the final 16, but we wanted to add some incentives. So on the left here, the set draft picks, essentially what this means is top 2 point earners, regardless of if they've auto-qualified or not, top 2 point earners are able to set their spots on the snake draft for the final championship league. So if Dan and Ryan get the first and second most points, Dan, who has first most, will get to choose his spot first, and then Ryan will get to choose his after. And so it's just a little small incentive. It's really not a big thing because we don't want it to affect the final competition too much. But we're also going to have custom roles for the top 10 point earners. Pretty much whatever you want them to be, I will make them for you. And then one that I think would personally motivate me if I wasn't in charge of all this already was the top 5 point earners will be able to select next circuit's side formats. Obviously, we are going to give you a list to choose from because nobody wants to play Gen 1 Little Cup, as Dan has already suggested multiple times. But this is just a fun way to get people involved and to incentivize people to keep playing, even if they may have already qualified through an auto-qualify, or they just know that they're locked for top 9, and so they don't really need to push any further. So there is one more incentive, however. The number 1 point earner, on top of all those other incentives that they'll receive, custom video of your choosing made by myself. It has to be something reasonable that I can post in public and not lose my job over. And I don't have all the time in the world, so we'll keep it around 10 minutes. But I'll do whatever you tell me to do, again, within the bounds of something I can post publicly and not ruin my career and reputation. That being said, that's all I have for you for today. I really am excited for the next chapter here for the Great Lakes Draft Circuit. Again, we've got a new logo in progress, and I will be obviously showing you all that as soon as it's done. But for now, expect more news coming very soon. Obviously, the first leg of the circuit is starting in mid-September of this year, so within a month we'll be watch for signups and other news around the start of the season. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I hope that everyone else is as excited about this prospect as I am, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for more news.